Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. So let's start with Hurricane Michael, and this is out of the BBC, and this says Hurricane Michael is a monstrous storm. Right now it's strengthened in Category 2. It's going to be strengthened in Category 3, and it could make landfall as a Category 3. Could be very, very powerful, bringing both wind, storm surge, and rain to not only Florida, then Georgia, and then both of the Carolinas, which are still so flooded still towards the coast. And so this storm is expected to reach Category 3 before landfall. Governor Rick Scott has warned the residents to evacuate. Definitely take it serious. Alabama, Florida, Georgia have all declared states of emergency in all parts of these states. At least 13 people have reportedly died in Central America already due to the storm. Governor Scott called for residents to evacuate, saying it could be the difference between life or death. Alabama is under a statewide state of emergency ahead of the hurricane, along with 92 counties in southern Georgia and 35 counties in Florida. And so some other regions of the U.S. may see up to a foot of rain and storm surges of up to 12 feet. That's big. And you know, there's a couple of people that have been sharing this channel with me. I think it's Saved by Grace is what it's called. And she was showing yesterday, basically yesterday, around this time, you know, it was not even showing really tropical storm force winds. So, you know, check her YouTube out. It's Saved by Grace. And obviously what she's getting at is that she feels this is a manufactured storm. And I've checked her out a couple of times. It's a newer channel, but it's growing fast. You know, just something else that, you know, I share with you guys as I get the same channels being recommended by, you know, repeatedly by regular YouTube subscribers that I see on a regular basis. You know, you could check them out. And, you know, that's a big question, because this one really is, it's ramping up very fast again. And here's the key statement. Heavy rains are forecast for the Carolinas, which were drenched by Hurricane Florence last month. And there are so many people clearing out that area right now. And as I was saying yesterday, let us hope that it doesn't all of a sudden slow down again. You know, come rushing on up and then all of a sudden slow down. Let's hope that's not the case. You know, we know that weather wars, well, those of us on this channel know that that's a reality. You know, there really are weather wars going on in so many ways, and we know the technology is there for that, and we've seen some really curious, unusual storms doing things that they don't normally do. So, of course, we're a little bit curious and a little bit skeptical, you know, when we look at these things. And here's the path that we're looking at right now. And let's actually jump over right now. This is My Fox Hurricane, which has some really nice graphics. As you can see right here, Category 2, right now it's basically pretty much directly across west of Naples. And, you know, if you look at the paths, there's only one that's really odd, that all of a sudden has it heading towards New Orleans and then doing a hard right turn and coming back and going in just above like Spring Hill and Tampa area. The rest of them are all in agreement that you're looking at somewhere in the Panhandle, you know, Panama City-ish, on over towards the Alabama border. And it's everybody needs to be aware of what is going on there. As we see, take a peek at the satellite view. You know, when she was talking about it yesterday about this time, there was no real observable circulation. It was just basically some clouds. And, you know, according to the National Weather Service, it was already giving tropical storm readings. But yet it wasn't really showing up. Now, it did do damage for sure, and it did actually kill people in Central America. And so, you know, part of it is that it could have been broken up somewhat by the land, although it did thread the needle, which when you look at it, that is threading a needle going right through the Yucatan Pass there. So, an interesting steering job as well, as we see the eye right here. And we watch it as it starts heading in. The bands are already, definitely making impact. And so everybody must keep their eyes open. This is nothing to sneeze about. And, it doesn't have that super low pressure yet, but it is intensifying. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Do your hurricane prep as always. If we look at these models down here, let's see, GFS, you see they're in pretty good agreement. So this is definitely one to take serious. And as we're looking at Leslie, and we'll update that as well, just yesterday we were looking like Leslie was not going to be much of an event, that it was going to go up and scoot actually past Ireland and go way up into the North Atlantic, and now it doesn't look to be the case. Now it looks like, this might be a threat to the Iberian Peninsula. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. Possibly still a threat to the UK, and we're going to update that in a moment. So 11 dead after flash floods and mudslides hit Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Guatemala. And heavy rain produced by two low-pressure systems along Central America and the Caribbean affected Central American countries over the weekend, resulting in flash floods and mudslides. At least 11 people killed, 2 are still missing. In Honduras, 4 people died, 7,013 have been affected, 3,019 evacuated, and 2,746 people are housed in temporary shelters. As you hear the cows getting riled up next door, I'm not sure what they're doing out there right now. But these are noisy cows we have for neighbors. In Honduras, 4 people died. And over in Nicaragua, 13,000 are affected, 4 people killed there as well. As you can see, almost 3,000 in shelters. And so this is basically the same system that is now Hurricane Michael. And let's hope it's not going to bring that type of devastation and destruction, or worse, because it's supposed to be stronger when it hits the U.S. Now, Indonesia is mulling declaring quake-flattened villages mass graves. And that's truly sad. So the official death toll on Saturday climbed to 1,649. And you have massive, massive cleanup underway. It's just a horrible situation. It's just very, very sad. You can see here now, this is the newest. It's getting close to 2,000. But the fact is that there are up to 5,000 people that they have no accounting of. So we really might have about 7,000 that have perished in this. So a horrible, horrible event with the tsunami and the earthquake. And, again, let's send our prayers to them and to all the workers who are working right now to clean it up and to get as many people laid to rest as possible and notify the families. It's just a horrible situation. And here's an update on severe weather Europe. Update on Tropical Storm Leslie. The potential is increasing for landfall in southwest Iberia this weekend. So there is now some better agreement about the future track of Tropical Storm Leslie heading towards southwest Europe as per the latest model guidance. Very strange season. Strange season. Leslie will likely track between the Azores and the Canary Islands until Saturday, when it will be near the Iberian Peninsula. Still, Leslie could make landfall in Portugal, southwest Spain, or even Morocco, and it also may dissipate before reaching Iberia. It's maintaining tropical storm strength today, remaining in the central Atlantic, is expected to intensify back to a hurricane in the afternoon when it gets into better, warmer sea surface conditions. Notice the other potentially major hurricane over in the Gulf, and that's with that picture there. So very, very weird, very curious. It's been a bizarre season as far as these storms have gone. And powerful windstorm Callum will develop over Ireland and Scotland on Friday. Various models are in fairly good agreement on the development of a powerful windstorm that's going to be across parts of Western Europe on Friday the 12th. A very deep cyclone, Callum, is expected to travel just west of Ireland and Scotland and result in extreme severe winds. Locally in excess of 150 kilometers an hour, major waves are expected along the coast as well. Friday's pattern is confirmed by all models, as you can see here. Very, very interesting to say the least, the storms that we have seen. Not typical at all. We have an intense tropical cyclone, Lubin, expected to hit southwest Oman on Friday, October 12th as well. Yet another tropical system is bringing potential threat for damaging storm surge winds and flooding this week. Tropical cyclone Lubin has developed along the southeastern Arabian Peninsula and is heading towards southwest Oman, where it's expected to make landfall on Friday. And this could become another potentially destructive cyclone with life-threatening flooding and winds at landfall. And this area was hammered earlier. I think it was either in May or June, where we saw tremendous. Must have been in June. We saw tremendous flooding. It was just incredible over in this area as well. So as we see, this is everywhere that's experiencing all this. And we have extremes. We have Alberta. Snowfall breaks century-old record. More heavy snow in the forecast. And so the Canadian Brian Proctor, and he's a meteorologist, he said they haven't seen a barrage of snow like that in October for well over 100 years. And so it had a total of 38 centimeters. The record was 29.7 way back on October 4th, 1914. That was a very auspicious year, wasn't it? And so, we're seeing these extremes. Thank you, UN and IPCC. Save us all from this global warming. Taking a poke at global warming over here on Electroverse. U.S. and Canadian temperatures are set to plunge by as much as 16 degrees centigrade below average as we head into mid-October. So the weather's going to change. Here today, probably still about 82. It's been that way. It's been about 60-ish at night. And, low 80s, absolutely gorgeous weather. Well, you can see it's going to be changing. It's going to be getting colder. And as it says here, the grand solar minimum is tightening its grip. And so UN 1989, entire nations could be wiped off the earth by rising sea levels if global warming is not reversed by the year 2000. And so as it's saying, how many tipping points have we reached and passed, and still that never happened. And there was actually another article which I didn't put out here that was, again, stirring the fear as far as the global warming. And a lot of people are suspicious about the other side of that coin, too. A lot of people are suspicious about the grand solar minimum being a new global warming thing, just going in the opposite direction. We do see extremes, as we see here. Very warm weather now, a heat wave for Northern Europe and the Arctic region this weekend. So there you go. Here we have the other extreme. The weather pattern across Europe this week is exceedingly supportive for extreme regional warming across Northern Europe and the Arctic region. Temperatures will be 10 to 15 degrees centigrade above the long-term average. Here, 16 centigrade below the average. So, we see different things in different areas, and the one thing that's constant is the extremism. The extreme we can't deny. Unprecedented and extreme. Those words are very, very apropos. Flea-borne typhus is spreading across the Los Angeles area. And there's been a lot of these things coming out now. A rise in typhus, a bacterial disease spread by lice or fleas, has hit the LA area. As of Monday, we have 57 cases of the flea-borne typhus in Los Angeles County. And on Thursday, the department announced that officials are investigating an outbreak of flea-borne typhus in downtown LA, and they're working with the city to implement environmental safety measures to help reduce the spread of disease. Between July and September, the county identified 9 cases of the flea-borne typhus associated with downtown LA, and 6 of those cases were in people experiencing homelessness. And we know the homeless situation in California in general, with just the homeless tent cities everywhere. It's just a horrible situation that has just grown every single year, no matter who's in office, locally or on a national level. It just gets worse. And yeah, it's interesting how it doesn't even get brought up much anymore on a national level. And very, very sad. Now, mysterious hum from the sky lasting 45 minutes with air vibrating baffles locals. And this is up in northern Sweden. And I'll let you guys play the clip, because so many times we play the clip and then we get a strike against us, because of, somebody has copyrighted it. So, interesting sounds. I will say it's definitely got some interesting sounds going on, and it makes you wonder, is it due to the expanding Earth, the electromagnetism between Earth and whatever else is going on up in the sky? You guys listen, let me know what you think. Please do share your opinions on this. And it's raining frogs, basically. There's explosively breeding frogs that are literally dropping from above in North Carolina. And this is the eastern spadefoot toad. He's a cute guy. We're experiencing a population boom along the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina, according to Hurricane Florence. Due to Hurricane Florence, I should say. So tens of thousands of frogs and toads have emerged on North Carolina's coastal plain, leading to social media reports of frogs found hopping on kitchen counters, crawling in beds, and even falling on people as they're walking outside. They're all over my windows. I had one jump on my face laying in bed. I had another in the kitchen, on the cutting board. They're everywhere. So blaming Hurricane Florence's record-setting floods for this biblical-style plague is justified but not entirely accurate, experts told the Charlotte Observer. What's happened, says state biologist Jeff Hall, is a convergence of 2 types of frogs and a toad explosion along the coast. Well, obviously they enjoy the weather, that is for sure, and for them this has been just magnificent. Although I'm sure most of the residents won't agree with that. Meet the scientists bringing extinct species back from the dead. And we're hearing of this more and more through this CRISPR technology. It's a gene editing technology. And we've talked about this before several times, with them reviving things like woolly mammoths, perhaps even saber-toothed tigers, all sorts of things that have gone extinct. This jar, quote unquote, was holding a passenger pigeon that went extinct in 1914. And so it's just one of those things that make you wonder, are we being Frankenstein scientists with our delving into things that many people would think we shouldn't delve into? And, of course, there's been all sorts of rumors of hybrids and all sorts of experiments. And this CRISPR technology is pretty interesting stuff. And so they basically are bringing back a type of pigeon that has been extinct since 1914, over 100 years. And as it says here, the pigeons are outwardly unremarkable. 13 birds, ages 2 weeks to 3 months, occupy a coop at an animal research facility in Melbourne, or just west of Melbourne, Australia. So they're descendants of common rock pigeons, recognizable denizens of city squares and park benches, with one small but crucial distinction. These are the first pigeons in history with reproductive systems that contain the Cas9 gene, which is an essential component of the CRISPR gene editing tool. The swabs of this flock will be born with the Cas9 gene in every one of their cells, allowing scientists to edit their offspring with DNA from the extinct passenger pigeon. Those birds, if everything goes to plan, will be the first live animals edited with traits from a species that no longer exists. The flock was created by Ben Novak, an American scientist who has spent the past 6 years working obsessively on a process known as de-extinction. His goal to bring back a bird that disappeared from the face of the earth over 100 years ago. And, this is really interesting stuff. And so, if humans are able to do these things, just ask yourself, what could, say, a race of beings that were 100 years more advanced do? 1,000 more years advanced. 10,000 years more advanced. As we know, a lot of these things, these advances, they increase exponentially. So where we are today is so far ahead of where we were 20 years ago. And so maybe that 20-year leap only takes us 3 to 5 years to make the equivalent leap going forward. And then maybe the next leap, it only takes about a year to equate to that 3 to 5 years. And it just keeps speeding up like that. So seriously, think about it. What could a civilization, human or other, do in just, say, 1,000 years ahead of where we are right now? Just 1,000 years. There's evidence that there were civilizations on this planet millions of years ago. Civilizations, not roving animal-like creatures, monkey men, but actual civilizations millions of years ago. So if there were beings with technology close to what we have now on this planet millions of years ago, how far advanced would they be right now? What could they actually do? It's all very interesting to think about. We have a shallow 6.0 earthquake hitting the Kuril Islands region in Russia. And we have 6 meteor showers peaking in October. And there's been an awful lot of asteroids, fireballs, that is for sure. And so here's a listing for you guys. If you're interested, I'll have all the links as usual. We have the Draconids. Those peak on the October 9th and 10th. And there's several other ones that are going to be peaking as well. And we got the time frames on them too for those of you that are into sky watching. And you never know what you see when you check out the sky, especially if you're out in the country and you got a nice clear night. So this is off of ready.gov, Build-A-Kit. And so I'll have this link for you guys as well. And this is just what the government is recommending that you should have. So if you're in the path of Hurricane Michael right now, this is the type of stuff that you should have on hand: the basic supply kit, basic disaster supplies. And there's a PDF right here as well that you guys could download. You could print additional emergency supplies too, maintaining your kit. And this is all what the government says you should do. And I know that there's a lot of other sources that most of us will basically look to above the government, but I just thought it'd be interesting to give you what the government is recommending. And so changing gears a bit, we have miracle or mystery. 3 college students talk about their miracle on the mountain. And so these 3 college students say an ordinary hike turned into a supernatural and motivational moment for them. Nothing seemed to be going quite right for the college students, Alyssa Miller, Jen Vickman, and Cassie Sanchez. It was one of those days where as soon as you wake up, nothing really goes as planned, says Miller. We slept through our alarms, so we were really late to get here, says Vickman. It was already hot, like we didn't want to hike hot. Something we had to do almost. Forced fun, laughed Miller. The girls, though, were determined to get in sometime on Dreamy Draw Mountain, and that's when a routine hike took a mysterious turn. We just see a silhouette of this man. He looks like he has long hair and he's in a robe, says Miller. And I look up and said, guys, it looks like Jesus up there, said Vickman. He was right there on top of the mountain, said Miller. Shocked and curious, the girls continued up their trek to the mountain, but the man seemingly vanished. He was just gone, said Vickman. And once they reached the top, the mountain mystery started unraveling into even a more miraculous moment for them. We were all just kind of shocked, and we just sort of sat there, said Miller. Tucked in a formation of rocks was an envelope, and we read the front of the envelope, and it said, "Do you believe in angels?" And when we opened it, well, that's when things got really crazy, said Miller. I just got chills again just thinking about it, Sanchez said. Inside the card was a note with an inspirational and faith-filled message that read in part, "If you found this gift, congratulations. For one reason or another, you were meant to find it. This particular rock where this special blessing is left is very special to me. I call it my Jesus rock. The Holy Spirit has been very good to me as I love to stand on the rock and give our Heavenly Father all the glory. It's a special place, and I'm excited for you who found this wonderful and blessed location. God led me to this rock just like He has led you here today. God only knows who this blessing is intended for. You may or may not be a Christian, however, He has a wonderful plan for your life. I pray in one way or another you'll be blessed in a special way by this gift, for without a doubt you were led here, and I know a special seed will be planted inside you by God the Father. Just like the song by Corey Asbury goes, Reckless Love, there's no shadow He won't light up, no mountain He won't climb up, chasing after you." And then the note ended with the Bible verse, Proverbs 3:5-6. It was a little typed note that says how this mountain is so special to this person. This is where they come from, or this is where they come. This is where they found Jesus, and that they hope this mountain and what's in this envelope can bless them too, said Miller. That's not all that was in the card. There were $300 bills, and there are 3 of us, said Miller. The letter simply signed with a letter J. I think it was like a miracle, like the Lord speaking to us, said Miller. And when asked, the girls did what they did with the $300. They simply said nothing because they feel there's a greater purpose for that money. We just kind of thought that if we take it, then our plan was to bless someone with it, said Miller. They said this experience has been one of the most inspirational moments in their lives, and hope it gives something to others as well. I hope it gives them hope. I hope that there are good people out there, and hope that the Lord is working for you whether you realize it or not. Blessings can come at any time. Like we would never have thought we would come to the top of a mountain because I don't like to hike, so who would have known, said Miller. The girls say this experience has really inspired them to pay it forward. There you go, paying it forward. They're just waiting for the right opportunity to do just that. As for the man on the mountain, they say they never did see him again. So interesting events in Arizona, paying it forward, always a nice idea. And so what do you guys think? Do you believe in angels? So my friends, as always, please do thumbs up to support the channel, subscribe, click the bell, join the growing family, share with as many people as possible, and wake them up to everything that's going on in this world. And again, help others prepare in this manner every way, mentally, physically, spiritually, because these are definitely very interesting times we are living in. And times of miracles and mysteries, and also of the great unveiling of many mysteries, as we were talking about in the earlier video today. So my friends, may you be blessed with abundant peace, love, happiness, and well-being. God bless, and namaste.